So I was with the New York Jets from 2011, 2012, and I suffered a knee injury in which the first person I called was Dr. Berry due to a family relationship, and had a torn ACL, LCL, bicep femoris tendon, meniscus, and also had to get a microfracture. So it was a pretty substantial job, so I know I had to call Dr. Berry right when I had the injury.
So, because you were family friends with him, right? What had you heard about his procedures that he had done, his patient care, that made you know that he was a person to go to?
Right, yep. So the best marketing is word of mouth. So my dad actually tore both his quad tendons off of his kneecap, and first person he went to was Dr. Berry. So I kind of saw from the very beginning to the end Dr. Berry's involvement and the high level of patient care, and saw how he was doing that with my dad. So I knew he would, have the utmost respect for me and do the same.
So going into having your surgery, it was pretty extensive. You had some pretty traumatic injuries,
To say the least.
What were your expectations going in? How did he prepare you for the surgery, and what did he tell you about the recovery process?
Yeah, so we sat down and we really put down on a piece of paper, our realistic expectations with the next season, and what different steps would need to be taken on both of our end as far as physical therapy and going back for visits and the weekly checkups to make sure we were on pace. So we sat down, developed a plan, and worked out great.
So going into the surgery, if you had not gone to Dr. Berry, how do you think your outcome would have been different?
Yeah, that's hard. I would say there was actually a lot of time that Dr. Berry and I kind of sat down and weighed our options, and it's really hard to say. I really don't think I would have had a second chance to get back at the NFL if I'd have went to anyone else.
Okay.
Probably could elaborate a little bit more on that, but I saw you shaking your head like I thought you had your next question ready.
If you could elaborate, that would be really great.
Okay. Should I just start from the top, or you guys can cut it?
We can cut it. Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to hear how he gave you a shot at your second time, if it wasn't for the doctor, right?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. So so I feel that any other surgeon, if that relationship wasn't there, they may have recommended 2 or 3 follow-up surgeries. Just obviously that's how they make money. But Dr. Berry sat down and weighted the effects of those extra surgeries and how they weren't really needed, and it didn't fit the exact timeline that we had agreed upon with conjunction on physical therapy. So if I went to another physician, they may have recommended 2, 3, 4, 5 more surgeries, and I'll probably be still having them today.
So since you've had your surgeries, since they were successful, how was your recovery period, and what did Dr. Berry's successful surgeries and repair mean to you and your quality of life, in addition to obviously your career?
Right. Yeah. So just to have a chance, especially in terms of NFL, it's such a small window in one's life, but and it's such a small chance to get a shot the first time, it's even smaller the second time. So the fact that I was able to even get back on the field after that injury, where I was even second guessing even being able to play basketball at the YMCA even more after that injury. So it really means a lot to just to be able to step on the grass again and kind of get that feeling of competition and feeling normal.
Can't imagine what that must have been like. So, I'm trying to think what this next question will be. Sorry.
Maybe would you tell another person?
Yeah, so something I've been asking other people who come in for testimonials is when people are looking to have a surgery done, whether it's something that's super involved or just something simple and very minimally invasive, what would you tell them about Dr. Berry to encourage them to seek his care?
Yeah, I would say Dr. Berry specifically is to at least approach him and get down on paper as I did, expectations, realistic expectations, and what a complete rehab process looks like for you, whether it's to get back to a high active level or just to be able to get back to work, whatever that is, Dr. Berry will truly work in conjunction with your expectations, and will push as hard as anyone that I know to get you there.
Perfect. And that's something that he stressed many times with our conversations today, because he actually sat down for
Sure.
some.
I ran out of memory. I need to grab another memory
We'll
card.
grab another memory card.
One play? Or
Yeah, one
just-
play, man. Yep. And then I had, I actually had 3 total surgeries on the knee since that injury, but that was kind of due to my own, I had built up scar tissue and, there's stuff outside of the control. But yeah, I had 3 total surgeries.
So, with other patients that are coming for testimonials, we ask them, the person that was in here just before you, he blew out his shoulder when he was throwing a ball, and he was just about to have another child.
Oh, wow.
And it was pretty devastating for him. What was a moment like for you whenever you knew you were really seriously hurt, and what was your thought process going into the surgery and then coming out of it knowing that it was going to be okay again?
Well, I'd say I never knew it was going to be okay again, but I know coming out of surgery, after the pre and post-op process, I actually remember the first 4 months after surgery and just being on track at the same pace that he said I was going to be going into surgery, and it just kind of validated our whole expectation, and taking that into therapy, physical therapy. Physical therapy, especially in a long process, is just a mental game of its own. So to know that you're on pace and you're working toward your goal, that sitting down with Dr. Berry collectively we had, it actually meant a lot to me, because there's nothing like hitting roadblocks in therapy, which is going to happen. But to know, as a whole, that you're going in the right direction, and again, whether it's getting back on the field or getting back just to play baseball or basketball with the kids, I mean, just to have that going through therapy and knowing you're in the right direction means a lot.
Great answer. Let's see. In Dr. Berry's care, his team that he works with, they seem to be very involved in every step of the process. Have they helped you tremendously as well?
Oh man, yeah, not to say it happened with everybody, but it definitely was a blessing, just to, and I think it speaks volume with Dr. Berry too. I mean, just to know the magnitude of what that injury meant to somebody, specifically me, and just know that having access to information, and you may have those lonely nights where you're thinking, what if? For me, playing football, what if I lose my job? What if this is it? So to just have streamlined access to texting him directly, and not just answering the question, but literally sending paragraphs of information, and I'm very thankful for that.
He's very close to all of his patients.
Mm-hmm.
He treats
Yeah.
everyone like
I'm not going to say he's going to give everybody his number, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, that goes, all the way down the staff. I mean, it starts at the top in any business, but, for sure that the whole office is, what's the word?
Responsive?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with like a Bill O'Reilly word of the day, but it's just like it really backfired. I don't know.
You couldn't have done it without the staff down there, maybe?
Yeah, what'd you say, representative?
Responsive? Or
responsive,
just kind
yeah.
of,
they
helpful
really
attitude.
embody
Yeah.
who he is as a person, and they.
Yeah, I'm John and Blake. I was setting up. I thought I had a really good word, and then when you spend that much time thinking, you come out with something simple. You're like, really? I don't know, but
We need another memory card.
yeah, another memory card. Yeah.
Man. So yeah, maybe just say how responsive everyone in this office has been, especially Dr. Berry, whenever they just answer all your questions as quickly as possible. And, something like that. Is that what kind of what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, it was something along the lines. I'm just not good at repeating stuff either.
And we want you to say it in your own words.
Yeah. What was the question again? I forget the question.
Just how involved, like Dr. Berry and his staff have both been in your recovery process, and how they've been there for you. And,
Gotcha, right. Yeah, so, whether it was Dr. Berry or his PA, all the way down to the staff, everybody treated me with the utmost respect, just like Dr. Berry does. So it truly is a top-down approach.
Perfect.
Well said. Well said.
Is there anything you would like to add? Is there anything else you guys think I should touch on?
Yeah,
you got it. Anything
kind of
about
missed
the-
a little bit on your frustration when it happened.
Mhm.
Whenever, I mean, how frustrating is it to think that your career might be over and
Mhm.
that when you have that injury,
Mhm.
you know, and then finding hope with the doctor. kind of
Gotcha.
thing.
Yeah, so obviously to suffer any kind of injury is very frustrating, especially one that removes you from your job, you know, how you provide for your family. So, you know, when an injury like that happens, it's very bleak and it's hard to be optimistic. So to have somebody there like Dr. Berry, in essence, a shoulder to lean on, you know, somebody who can provide the education and can kind of simplify the process and show you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But not only that, but also develop a plan to get to that light, you know, is truly amazing.
Couldn't have
Love
said
that
a better
last line.
response.